Hey there, friends. Happy Art du Jour, Friday, May the 18th. This is our last installment in our little 5-part series this week for Art of the Day. And I am making things out of stuff that has dropped into my life today. Today I went to Lidl and I forgot my bag, so I did have to buy a brown bag when I was there. It was a whole 7 cents, and there's probably nothing that I really do love better than a brown bag. I don't know if you guys ever realized this or not, but with a brown paper bag, now for this project, I cut the bottom off the paper bag, but the cool thing is after you cut the bottom off a paper bag, you have this really great little disposable receptacle for stuff. I really love to use these when I'm doing a project. You know, I'll just drop stuff in as I'm working on it, and it keeps your desk uncluttered. It's really nice. Plus, of course, when you're done with it, you can stick it right in the recycling, and it gets recycled into something else. My idea today, because we have the royal wedding coming up tomorrow, which I am excited about. I'm an Anglophile. I like anything that has to do with England. I love to read about Queen Elizabeth I. Just the whole thing kind of fascinates me, and I've always been interested in it. You know, in the whole pomp and circumstance kind of thing. I'm a blue jean and t-shirt girl, so to me, just the dresses, the pomp, the circumstance, the costumes, the history, the traditions, it's just very, very interesting to me. So I thought today, nothing quite says English celebration like bunting, so I thought that we would try some bunting today. I have not tried this. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll just see what happens. So I got my paper bag from Lidl. I also had an Applebee's $10 gift certificate today, and when I got home, this nice little brochure was in the bag, so I thought, well, we might use that for something. When I was at Lidl, I picked up this 3-pack, y'all, of washi tape for $1, and I thought that's a great deal right there. But anyway, we've got this. And we have napkins from Nancy. Nancy sent a whole bunch of napkins, so I thought, you know, maybe we would decoupage a napkin onto this bag and then cut it into triangles and maybe, you know, try and use some focal imagery with it. Like I said, I really don't know how this is going to go. I've never tried it before, so if it's really bad, then it'll just never see the light of day, and we'll just pretend it never happened. Let's do that. We'll start out with the napkins I've taken the backs off of, and I discovered that these napkins had like a double layer of the, you know, this nice white backing, which this white backing is great to use for different kinds of projects. I like to stamp on it and then use the stamped image, you know, as it is, or you can flip the image, which is super cool. I learned that from the very, very wonderful Cat Hand, how to stamp an image onto some tissue paper and then you can manipulate that image. Alright, we are going to put some Mod Podge down here, and I just discovered that I do not have my fan brush, so I do have a credit card, so we're just going to have to swipe that over here, and we will see what we can get done with not having a brush for a minute. Okay, now I'm just going to plop this on here and then kind of just smooth it down like that. I think bunting is such a happy thing. It just kind of makes me smile. It is very festive. It's nice that you can use it for any occasion at all. Uh-oh, I tore it right there. I got too aggressive. I always do. But that's okay, because it's like a shabby bunting. I can't believe I did that again after just doing it on on our on our trashy journal that we made. But it's okay. It's like I said, you know, it's going to be a very shabby bunting. All right, so we've got that done. I think next thing that I want to do with it is maybe just add a bit of gesso. I'm going to have to be super careful and not tear any more of our bunting. This gesso is very dried up, but you know, to me, when it's kind of dried like that, it kind of gets kind of super cool and fun to work with. I promise I'm being very gentle with it, y'all. There, I'll just cover that up. And I love these napkins. I mean, there's like no end to what you can do with a napkin. My sister told me this morning about a funny story about Harry and Meghan, and he was 40 minutes late for their first blind date. And when he came in, he said, "Oh my goodness, you are very beautiful." And she said, "And you're very late." And he didn't say anything. I imagine he was kind of shocked. And he said, "Well, I just lost track of time." And she said, "Really? Because I see on your wrist that you're wearing a watch. Would you like for me to explain that to you?" And she grabbed his hand, and she looked at the watch, and she said, "Now, the little hand is the hour, and the big hand is," what is that? The little hand and the big hand. Anyway, she explained that all to him. Oh, I don't have my watch on. Okay, so the little hand is the hour, and the big hand is the minutes. There we go. So she was snarky at the very first date, which, sorry, I really like that. I think that is just super neat right there. I don't know a lot about Meghan Markle, but I think that Prince Harry and Prince William, I remember very distinctly when their mom passed away, and their bravery at her wake, and I just think about that, you know, that those boys really went through a lot of heartache, and they deserve some happiness. And I do know that they're princes, and I do know that they're privileged and all that, but they also seem to do a lot of good things, you know, for communities and for organizations. I think they have that heart that their mom had. You know, she was always donating her time to causes and things like that and charities. I think that's really important. Okay, so we've got this much done. I need to draw this, and then I'll be right back. Okay, friends, I have everything drawn. Now, the next thing that I want to do is to go ahead and cut out my napkin paper bag combo. For years, I used paper bags as my drop paper on my desk before I inherited all of these beautiful white desk pads from my friend that owned a recycling business. These are white, you know, those white tablets that you know, when you used to have a business meeting, you have this tablet at the front of the room, and it was a flip chart, and you know, now we have PowerPoint and all that good stuff. Okay, so this is cut out. My next thought is to make, you can see that it's kind of, okay, we're going to fold it like this. It's kind of already folded, kind of, you know, if you follow the creases on the bag. I'm going to flip this up, so we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're not going to be even, which is great. Don't want the bunting to be even, because, you know, that's not very interesting. So we're going to cut these out. That roar you hear in the background is rain. We have had so much rain. I think it's ark building time. Hopefully, maybe by Sunday, we won't be having so much. Okay, so here's what we have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, and we've kind of jumbled them up so they don't look so much like a napkin now. The next thing I want to do, like I said, we're just kind of going by the seat of our pants on this. Never done this before, but what I'm thinking now is we need to go ahead and cut these into, now I like triangle bunting. Some people, you know, like a bunting like this that's very straight. I'm kind of partial to triangle bunting, but I'm not so great at cutting out a triangle, so we'll just wing it, see what we come up with. Like I said, you know, it doesn't, nothing has to be perfect. Perfection is way overrated. Like, I could get out a ruler and do this, but that's just way too much work. So we're just going to eyeball it. And these things are pretty, so I might use that for something. I don't know. I don't know yet. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I do have some cording, and I thought, you know, we'll put it on that cording because that's just something that I have kind of laying around. Okay, and we've got one more. And there we go. I want to add just a little bit of focal imagery to this, and I want to show you a really cool trick. Now, this is a cat hand trick. I want to use these butterflies, and it's another napkin that Nancy sent along. I don't know where she got these napkins, but it's like, oh my goodness, they are beautiful. I'm going to pull this out of the way for a minute. I'm going to show you this trick that Cat Hand taught us. So we're going to take water on a brush, okay, and then you just kind of brush it around the image that you want to tear out, okay. So I want to tear that little butterfly right there out. It makes it so much easier to tear out, and instead of cutting, you're tearing very gently. I'm being gentle. I know y'all think I'm going to rip it, but I'm not. Isn't that just neato? I want to put these on the bunting. Does not have to be that whole image. You know, that's not really what I'm going for. Just partial image. And I'll just put a little bit of Mod Podge right there. I did grab my fan brush when I was away from you a while ago to do some drawing. And we will just put our beautiful butterfly right there. Doesn't she just match really super keenly with everything? She's very pretty. I will let her draw for a minute. I'm only going to do 3 of these. And we'll leave the other 3 the way they are. Let's do the, you know what, I think these are moths, not butterflies. And, you know, there is a difference. Personally, I don't know what it is, but I'm sure somebody does. Alright, now we're going to pull this one out. As most of you remember, I was going to miss the royal wedding because I had a festival tomorrow, but it was moved to May the 26th because of the aforementioned torrential flood-like downpour that we are just kind of stuck in this weather pattern where we are just having lots and lots and lots of rain. I live close to the James River. It is down the hill and to the left of my house. I can see it. Can't really get to it. But it is way, way flooded. Not as bad as I have seen it here. It doesn't really affect my, I live on a hill. I live on Marion Hill. And Marion Hill is, you know what? We've got so much slapping over there. Let's just stick it on the back like that. Marion Hill is where Chief Powhatan Indians had an enclave right here on this hill. One of his villages was here. And so there's a marker very close to my house, and it says that Marion Hill was the home of Chief Powhatan, and Chief Powhatan was, of course, the daddy of Pocahontas. This is kind of cool to live in a historic-ish place. My house was built in 1949. Old. Not a farmhouse, but it's an old house. Alright, we've got one more. And we decided we would do 3. So let's put some Mod Podge on here. Get this stuck on. Doesn't that make just really pretty bunting? I'm kind of curious to see the bunting that might be going on tomorrow, and the flags waving, and, you know, just an exciting time. Sure, it is exciting for people. You know, no matter what your opinion of the royals is, it's, you know, 2 people fell in love, you know, and they want to get married, and I think that's really, if you know anything about English history, it's cool to recall the fact that Edward, who was King George's brother, abdicated the throne to marry a USA divorcee named Wallis Simpson. So that's an interesting thing, you know, and 60 years later, here we are, you know, Harry marrying a divorced woman, a biracial woman, which I just think is the coolest thing ever. It's a love story, and it's just super cool. All right, I need to draw these, and then we'll be back to put them on our cording, and we'll have our royal wedding bunting. Okay, friends, we've got everything all drawn now, and like I said, I just had a little bit of this baker's twine. I believe our angel sent this to me, so it's got some good vibes to it. I am going to take off a length of this, and just, I ended up not using this, but that's a nice bright red, isn't it? We'll use that for something later on. Maybe in another installment of Art du Jour. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me this week for Art du Jour. I did Art du Jour 30 days, December 2016, and then I did an Art du Jour for February 2017, so I'll put an iCard up here if you want to visit my my other little Art du Jour endeavors. Here is our baker's twine. For me, I got to start in the middle, because if I don't start in the middle, everything's going to be not even, and probably end up not even anyway, so no big deal. Okay, so we have 6. I might not have pulled off quite enough. Okay, so I know 1, 2, I want the butterflies, and then I will need to leave a little bit of space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That leaves me with 1 left over, but that's okay, because I'll use this. You know what? I will put this in my trash journal, and then that way, that reminds me of this fun little project that we did together. The next thing that I want to do, sorry, it's dark and I bumped my head on the camera. I am going to, instead of, I thought, you know, maybe we might fold these over. Okay, let's just try that first, because that's like the traditional way to do it. But I don't want to glue it. I think I'm going to have to use a stapler, and I'm really not even sure I can do it. And then we're just going to staple it. Okay, let's do it like that. Like I said, we're really totally winging it. I had a busy day, and I'm not getting this done until kind of late. I think it's going to have to be turned a little bit. Okay, so I see what's happening. Have to kind of do it at an angle. Alright, so we see that, you know, we see the staples up here, and I thought that, you know, I'll just put a piece of washi right here over the staples. Maybe I should do that. I think I should do that before I staple the bunting in. So I shall do that on the rest of them. We had to have one experimental model there. Okay, and then I'm gonna cut this off as well. So I made a sweet little bunting. Alright, let's do the rest of them. I think I did get uneven though. We'll just have to wing it. Just have to. You know, I'm thinking I might want to trim that one down and just make it a little smaller. Just to give, you know, just so it looks a little shabby and not quite so put together. Alright, let's do the top. I'm sure you guys have better ideas about how to do this than me. But, you know, using the paper bag, the napkin, a little bit of gesso. If you don't have gesso, white paint works great. So just use you some white paint. For years I didn't have gesso. It was like, man, that stuff's expensive. You know what? I think with this one, I'm going to try some tacky glue. Let's see what happens. You could also use double stick tape, you know, right there. One of my favoriteest things in the whole wide world. We're just experimenting. Okay, that looks good. And then one here. I'm wondering if I'm going to need, okay, so I think we've got the technique down. We're going to fold it over and then take like the little ends that are lapping off, and then we'll put it here. And I think that worked. I think the tacky glue really did like the paper bag. Don't you love this upside down tacky glue? It's the best. Okay. A little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, we're coming along. We got one side of it done. And this, of course, you guys, is a mini bunting. You could make something bigger for, you know, a party or a cookout or something like that. Great little project for the kids. Because you can do it with almost anything you have. You could do it with newspaper, you know, craft paper, scrapbook paper, newspaper. You could add stuff to it, like lace and things like that. Now that I'm doing that, I'm not very happy with this, so we might, you know, I'm not happy with it, but I think if I tried to tear it off and start all over it, Do you know what would make it a little bit better? I'll put a wee bit on, I need my old scissors. We'll do this, and we'll do like a half piece, and then that'll give it a little bit of cohesion. Let's put a little half piece right here. And put a half piece here. There we go. That kind of gave it a little bit of, made it look like it matched this one right here. Okay, so I'll know the next time I make bunting, we will know that Eileen's tacky glue does like a paper bag. And that's a happy thing to know. Okay, now we've got this one to go. We've got 2 more to stick on here. I wish I had some crumpets for tomorrow morning. Have tea and crumpets for the royal wedding. I do not intend to get up at 4 a.m. though. That's a little early. Sometimes I do wake up at 4 a.m. and then I get up at 4 a.m. But yeah, okay. One more. There we go. There we go. And, you know, you could take this a step further and, like, put words on it or, you know, do whatever you want. I don't like this. It's going to have to go. I don't like it. Okay. Well, I mean, you don't even see the staples. So, I'm just going to leave it like it is. No, I just don't like it. Alright, so we're just gonna, I have my little, this is like a 1995 stapler. I know I'm not usually this picky, y'all, but it's royal wedding bunting. I want it to look nice. So I'm just gonna take the staples out. I love vintage office stuff. It's so fun. I don't even know where this came from. Okay. Oh, geez, I feel so much better now. I'm not usually that persnickety, y'all. Where is the moon? Is the moon doing something strange? We will know when I take Mia out back to do her business before she goes to bed. When the moon is full, Miss Mia goes outside and she howls at it. Just like the wolfen creature that she is. Alright. I think that looks nice. I'm happy with it. I think it's pretty. I'm going to hang it in my window up here in my studio, since we're not going in the sunroom this year. Doesn't look like we're going to do a sunroom studio this year. And my intention was this week to get some painting done and to get some jelly prints done, and it rained. It's too damp to try and do any painting. But there we go, you guys. A little bit of royal wedding bunting for Art du Jour on Friday, May the 18th, the day before the royal wedding. I hope you guys enjoyed Art du Jour, and we'll look at the things that come into your life and the things that surround you on a daily basis in a new and artistic way. Thanks a lot for joining me, y'all. I will talk to you soon. Bye.